with the advent of genetic engineering in agriculture. The science of crop improvement has evolved into a new realm. Advances in molecular and cellular biology now allow scientists to introduce desirable traits from other species into crop plants. The ability to transfer genes between species is a leap beyond crop improvement through previous plant breeding techniques, whereby desired traits could be transferred only between related types of plants. The most commonly introduced genetically engineered traits allow plants either to produce their own insecticides so that the yield lost to insect feeding is reduced, or to resist herbicides so that herbicides can be used to kill a broad spectrum of weeds without harming crops. Those traits have been incorporated into most varieties of soybean, corn, and cotton grown in the United States. Since their introduction in 1996, the use of genetic engineered crops in the United States has grown rapidly and accounted for over 80% of soybean, corn, and cotton acreage in the United States. In 2009, several National Research Council reports have addressed the effects of genetic engineered crops on the environment and on human health. However, the effects of agricultural biotechnology at the farm level, that is, from the point of view of the farmer, have received much less attention. To fill that information gap, the National Research Council initiated a study supported by its own funds of how genetic engineered crops have affected the United States farmers, their income, agronomic practices, production decisions, environment resources, and personal well-being. National Research Council. You cannot turn a profit on a dead planet. It is not organic. Genetic modified organisms war between Monsanto and DuPont. There is a growing scientific evidence that genetic engineered crops are harmful to biodiversity and the environment. Furthermore, once genetic engineered crops are released into the environment, they cannot be recalled. As living organisms, they can reproduce and pollute indefinitely. The introduction of herbicide-tolerant genetic engineered crops to the United States has resulted in a huge increase in both herbicide use and the incidence of herbicide-resistant weeds. Roundup, the herbicide sold by Monsanto in conjunction with its Roundup Ready genetic engineered crops, has been shown to be a potential endocrine disruptor. That is, it could interfere with our hormones. It is also toxic to certain wildlife such as tadpoles. Introduction of genetic engineered canola has been shown to have serious biodiversity impacts. For example, the United Kingdom government study found there were 24% fewer butterflies in the margin of genetic engineered canola fields because there were fewer weed flowers and hence nectar for them to feed on. The use of Roundup on genetic engineered soy has also been shown to have an adverse impact on soil health, leading to reduce the amount of nitrogen fixation bacteria in the soil. Insect-resistant genetic engineered crops have been shown to be toxic to non-target organisms such as butterflies and beneficial insects such as lacewings. They also threaten soil and water ecosystems since many genetic engineered crops secrete toxins from the roots into the soil. Agricultural waste from the biotechnology engineered may have been identified entering water courses. Genetically engineered crops are intended to prevent the need for application of insecticide. Yet, genetically engineered maize varieties continuously release a toxic into the environment in quantity 3,000 to 5,000 times higher than the sprays used for non-genetic farming. In 1935, some 3,000 imported cane toads were introduced in North Queensland to control native cane bird population. Today, cane toads numbers exceeds 200 million, spreading into neighboring states and threatening local biodiversity. We learned an important lesson from this playing around with natural ecosystem can have unpredictable effects which are extremely difficult to undo. This is just as true for the genetic engineering of crops. In fact, the risks associated with genetically engineered crops may be greater pollination through open air exposure, the potential for contamination and harmful contaminants. To date, no assessments of the environment impacts of genetic engineered crops have been undertaken in Australia. However, one thing is certain: once harmful effects became apparent, it will already be too late. Genetic engineering has been considered to have economic impacts in our society. The rapid adoption of genetic engineered crops since their commercialization indicates that the benefits to adopting farmers are substantial and generally outweigh additional technology fees. For these seeds and other associated costs, the economic benefits and costs associated with genetic engineered crops extend beyond farmers who use the technology and will change with continuing adoption in the United States and abroad as new products emerge. Since the beginning of 1990s, genetic engineering of plants has yielded a variety of applications for agricultural production, including traits intended to improve the shelf life of produce, improve crop nitrogen fixation, and foster control of agricultural pests. However, only two traits achieved commercial success. One trait confers insect resistance to crop by programming the crop plant to produce a natural occurring chemical that is toxic to common insects. The other trait confers herbicide tolerance and permits farmers to spray broad spectrum chemicals to kill weeds without killing the crop plant. These traits have been widely adopted in production of corn, canola, cotton, and soybean. Although genetically modified plants represent a potential benefit for environmentally friendly agriculture and human health, poor knowledge is available on the potential hazards posed by unintended modifications occurring during genetic manipulation. The major economic fears are the risks of patent enforcement, which may oblige farmers to depend on giant engineering companies such as Monsanto for strains when their crops are cross-pollinated. Consumer advocates are equally worried that patenting these new plant varieties will raise the price of seeds so high that small farmers and third world countries will not be able to afford seeds for genetic modified crops. and thus widening the gap between the wealthy and the poor. It is hoped that in a humanitarian gesture, more companies and non-profits will follow the lead of Rockefeller Foundation and offer their products at reduced cost to impoverished nations. So what can be done in all these devastations that genetic engineering imposes in our environments? The only thing is sustainable development and organic agriculture. Organic agriculture is a rapidly growing sector of agriculture that focuses on the healthy ecology and finance and care of the farming process. Organic practices use local resources and offers opportunities for increasing farmers' income and improve their livelihood. To feed the world sustainably into the future, fundamental changes are needed in our farming and food systems. Greenpeace believes we need a thorough and radical overhaul of present international and national agricultural policies. You can help by using your power as a consumer to buy locally grown organic food, arguing your representatives to pass laws that protect our health and eliminate genetic engineering.